Crow takes a very, very kind of come from behind victory in game number 1 here. His hand was super clunky, but that second wild growth giving him the time to play all the cards in hand he needed to play. And honestly, the Cthulhu, it's kind of a good point. I was thinking to myself, like, well, if he gets sapped, he just deals 10 more damage, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
It's not a very good minion to sap, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, Strifecrow getting on the board with that Druid. I mean, I'm not sure I expected this, but definitely after seeing the openings from both players, maybe a little bit unexpected, as Strifecrow at one point had like 9 cards in his hand at 16 health with nothing on the board, staring at 2 3/3s. Managed to find a way through it. Twin Emperors is just such a solid card, and now Chess Dude once again has to fight from behind. Hasn't managed to find a win. A single win so far today.
Yeah, I mean, just his deck's not lining up, just not performing really well, and honestly, kind of just what I was referring to with the Rogue. You have to get the right mix, and you have to get the right matchups too. And the matchups right now for Rogue, I just don't feel like are very good for it.
Yeah, especially Malagos Rogue. It just feels like you're weakening yourself by including Malagos a lot of times. Maybe not weakening. I mean, the deck maybe at maximum potential is actually stronger. I mean, it's hard to say that, but to play it at maximum potential is actually really hard. To draw at maximum potential is really hard. You do have less room for error, it feels. And Strifecrow picks up some pretty good stuff. Flame Strike, even though it's not doing anything for a while, is actually a really great card in this matchup. It's one of the only ways to deal with a stealth auctioneer on demand.
Yep. And Sinister Strike in the build for Chess Dude too. I mean, this is, this card is specifically in here for Malagos to just be that extra little burst damage you can run.
Yeah.
Strifecrow once again, Harrison in hand. It's kind of to draw cards in this matchup. This is a very different style than what we saw with the Druid. I mean, the Druid's going to power stuff out and then put the pressure on the Chess Dude, but this Mage, we just haven't seen it really get anything going yet.
This guy's toast.
I mean, I feel like this matchup could be okay. I mean, as long as you can get Ice Block down, they play... I don't know. It's hard to say.
I'm going to be honest. This matchup feels
so
pretty
many
good
variables
for the Mage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's just like you have such value. I mean, you have so many minions. You have spells, on-demand spells with like Ethereal Conjure and Kabbalah's Tome and things like that. How do you deal with Ice Block and Reno as a Malagos Rogue? It feels like you have a finite amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get the Malagos to stick to the board, and that's a tall task versus a deck that's, oftentimes going to be hunting for a polymorph to make sure it answers that. If Chess Dude had the surprise factor of that, it would be a different story, but Strifecrow knows what kind of rogue this is.
Yeah. Well, it's an early sap used.
You can see why Twilight Drake has traditionally just been a problem for rogues. They just outside, they have Shadow Strike now, but outside of Shadow Strike, just not a lot of super powerful options, and this is just going to be Twilight Drake again. So the sap bought him some damage here, but is that what he needs right now?
It's not much damage. It's 3. Allows him to push 3. And I guess preserve this SI7 agent, but now this Twilight Drake is just bigger, hard to deal with. Shadow Strike picked up, so that is a way to deal with it. Shadow Strike, of course, 6 damage now. You can Shadow Strike, trade in Blood Mage Thalnos, and get the dagger hit in. But Chess Dude giving up some information here. Mousing over these cards without fully thinking through his plays.
Well, I think it's fairly confident he's going to end up Shadow Striking here. I think his follow-up is what he's concerned with. Shadow Strike is a good answer to Twilight Drake. It's a lot of damage packed into 3 mana there. Yeah. So the extra time that Chess Dude got from this actually ends up being really valuable as well.
Probably just a Harrison Jones here.
Yeah, it's exactly what we saw last game. Just Harrison to draw cards. Don't really care about the fact that it's buying you the tempo. I mean, it actually does matter here a little bit. But Chess Dude happens to have 2 Pillager to fill out the curve with it, so not too big of a difference.
So Strifecrow has 9 cards in his hand. I was going to say Chess Dude could sap and burn a card, but that gives Harrison Jones back to him. Just makes him able to draw more cards.
Oh man, if he had burned a card, what a burn it would have been.
Yeah.
So
Arcane Explosion.
No Auctioneer for Chess Dude here. And this is kind of the situation, I think, where it might get a little bit scary. You know, it does have Azure Drake and Emperor to kind of keep this going a little bit. Shiv is certainly a welcome draw. Just anything to keep digging to find that big turn.
Mm-hmm. He's going to dig with Azure Drake here. He finds a backstab. He can use this with the Shiv to clear. But, yeah, it looks like... Ooh.
And I think Sap here is totally fine.
Going to burn a card.
Yep. Connects for 3. I mean, it's looking pretty good for Chess Dude. But Strifecro does have a ton of options. Flamewaker's certainly not as good of a burn as the Reno Jackson would have been.
Yeah.
I wonder if Chess Dude didn't spot that till just now. I mean, I think that's a real possibility.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Interesting.
So,
pretty
okay.
Flame Strike.
I mean, now he's a little bit more vulnerable to Gadgetzan Auctioneer sticking on the board. But he realizes that board was very threatening from Chess Dude. I mean, I feel like Strifecro's got to be still feeling pretty confident. He's at 18. He's got definitely a card advantage here. After this turn, he knows that there's not going to be a Gadgetzan Auctioneer, at least this turn. Emperor Thor's not really reducing many crucial pieces, so looks like Chess Dude's just going to push some damage here. And
Dark Iron Skulker's a card we hadn't seen.
I don't know how valuable it'll be in this matchup. I'm sure it helps very much so with the Zoo.
Yeah.
This guy's
Not gonna use the Emperor here. I think once again his plan is kind of to find that Malagos and go from there.
Mm.
Just try to present awkward things for Strifecro to deal with. At least Starseekers. This is just so weird from Strifecro to prop this deck.
I mean, I like it. It does so many things. Can you use Reno this early?
I think Reno could be a consideration from him, but again, I think just kind of trying to put together a stronger hand in general. You know, wants to dig that ice block, so I think Ethereal Conjurer is definitely worth considering at this point.
Yeah,
definitely wants to find Polymorph. I mean, we know that sticking an ice block, surviving the Malagos, then polying and playing Reno after the Malagos is definitely a real thing. Doomsayer here. And Frostbolt. Kind of weird that he would play the Elise here and do this.
Interesting. Yeah, he just wants a clear board, I suppose.
Yeah, he wants to keep stuff off the board and then use what he's got in hand to try to dig here. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, Chesu is 4 damage off lethal right now. I mean, I'm sorry. With 2 turns of the deadly poison, he's 4 damage off lethal. I'm just gonna shift to dig, redagger up, and say go.
Mm-hmm. I'm really curious to see what Strifecro's response is to this. I mean, at 12 health, you gotta be feeling pretty scared because he knows that there's a coin there from Tomb Pillager as well. That's just Malagos plus 2 spells. Chess Dude has cycled a lot so far. How scared are you of just dying? And the answer is pretty scared because he's
the answer
just
is
go
this
ahead
scared.
And Jackson. Yeah. And I mean, Chess Dude didn't expend too many resources pushing in this damage. He's still got plenty of strong minions left, and I mean, he's still in a pretty good spot. Strifecro doesn't have Ice Block yet, so he doesn't have that way to sort of block the lethal for 1 turn. One thing he does have is still a lot of resources. I mean, he's got Fireball, he's got Ethereal Conjurer. He can find some burn definitely with this deck.
Oh, Gadgetzan Auctioneer gets picked up. I mean, this is suddenly the Emperor Thorson looks way better now.
Yeah.
Now he wants to hold on to the Sinister Strike for Malagos, but man, you got to get digging.
Yeah.
I mean, he may just hold on here too. Again, it's tough to pinpoint what Chess Dude's going to do because he has so much experience in this matchup, and watching him navigate unfamiliar territory. I mean, you're going to find a wealth of differences of opinions.
Chess Dude makes weird plays. That's what that is. That's a convoluted way of saying Chess Dude is makes some really weird plays.
Not always. Dark Iron Skulker. I think he's just trying to get minions out and try to have them apply some face pressure.
Yeah.
I think that's like his main goal right now. And then follow up with the Auctioneer afterwards. Oh, Ice Block gets found.
Yeah. And Tony. I mean, he could Archmage Antonitis, Frost Nova, but the thing is, that's really risky. You're leaving 2 minutes on the board. You're leaving Spell Power on the board. Chess Dude, I mean, he's had to have drawn into it, huh? The Gadgetzan Auctioneer by now.
Also, if you go for the Antonitis, you risk burning some cards, but I think Strifeco's drawn just about everything he wants so far in this game. So him just converting cards to fireballs, I think, is a totally reasonable way for him to win. I mean, how does he actually lose from this position? If Tony does not get answered, this is it. I mean, just sets Ice Block and starts chucking fireballs.
Yeah. He's a freeze mage now. And we're going to get this Gadgetzan train rolling. We'll see if Chess Dude can find a sap. He sort of needs to. If he does find that, plus a burn spell, he will be able to clear the board.
Looking like wants to backstab first. Three damage on that. Violet Teacher's no good. I mean, something's got to give. He's got to kill this Archmage.
Yep.
Keeps on digging.
Prep. I mean, if he doesn't find sap, then he's in a lot of trouble.
Eviscerate would work as well, I think, but this is definitely not the position I think Chess Dude wanted to be in.
No.
There's another prep. Prep the prep.
Prep into prep. Strepko says, wow, prep into prep. I saw his mouth. And he finds Sinister Strike if he doesn't find a spell here.
Eviscerate.
Gets Eviscerate. Okay.
Still, though, it's a lot of damage for Strifecrow.
I mean, he could just set the ice block up. Ooh, now he doesn't have enough damage to quite close out the game yet.
I mean, look what he just saw happen, though. I mean, if he just blizzards and plays a minion or an ice block, it's really hard for Chess Dude to win.
Yeah.
And now Strifecrow doesn't know what his hand is. If he could see Chess Dude's hand or know anything about this would be easy for him. But he's thinking about what spells are there. I mean, this Gadgetzan Auctioneer is going to die this turn.
Yeah.
But again, if he could see everything, I think he'd be tempted to really just put damage into face.
Well, I mean, so Strifecrow's Chess Dude's been through both Eviscerates, both Shivs, a Sinister Strike, both Preps. What damage does he have left? Strifecrow can really just, like you said, blizzard and hit him in the face.
Well, the monkey's not what I wanted to draw. I wonder if Strifecrow's going to do that. I mean, Chess Dude's deck is really low, too. That's a good point you just brought up. He's seen so much damage. Strifecrow's got to make a decision, though. He's got a few seconds left.
I mean, this is probably the play that I like the least out of everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you're Strife... I hate that play.
Well, I mean, his game plan at this point clearly is to grind Chess Dude out of resources. Because he's seen so much damage, he may just feel safe actually trying to just blow everything up. It's a very Strifecrow thing to do.
I wonder.
I mean, look how many cards Chess Dude has left. It's not very many. And all the burst, he's got 2 cards left, and like you said, all the spell damage is gone.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, whenever I see a fireball go to a minion, I'm just sad, but maybe it's the right call. It's hard to say. I feel like knowing all those spells are gone just gives you that green light to freeze the board and go to the face. I mean, could have put Chess Dude down to 15 with double fireball in hand, a frozen board, and a Reno Jackson sitting there. But scary board now.
Now that I think about it, killing Auctioneer may have just been a bad idea.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, was Chess Dude going to cast more spells? Like, okay, go ahead.
Interesting.
I mean, it's not often that I say it, but I did not like that play.
I mean, this is still a lot of minion pressure left. I actually don't know if Strifeco can actually grind through this.
He's looking at 15 damage on board. And now he has to Blizzard. But what's his follow-up?
Drop the golden monkey.
Judging by the last play, I wouldn't be surprised.
If he's trying to set up an Azure Drake Arcane Explosion here.
Yeah.
Just dude, Fan of Knives is no good. Nice heal here from Chess Dude. Again, I'm concerned with the amount of damage he has left in the build. You know, Strifecrow picks up 1 or 2 AoE spells here. This could really change things.
Yeah.
And also, Mind Control tech's active now.
Pay attention, class.
Yeah, so here's the Edwin. Strifecrow under some real heat here. May have played this game a little passively.
A little
find
passively is an understatement.
I'm trying to build suspense, all right? Well, I'm staring at a way to win here. Arcane Explosion, they're going to follow up with the Mind Control tech. Yeah, I'm looking at that. Looking at the Emperor or not the 3-1. Last card for Chess Dude is Backstab. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You can push 15 damage this turn, but he's got no burst from hand. Strifecrow may have done this.
I have no idea how, but that's how a lot of Strifecrow's wins feel. I mean, he's going to Malagos and he's going to Phantomize, put himself further into fatigue, but he realizes that this is the way to do it.
I'm ready to learn.
Oh my gosh.
He's looking to pop the block next turn.
Awfully close.
If Strifecrow can find a way to pick up a freeze effect, like a Frost Nova from this Ethereal Conjurer, from this Kabbalist Tome, he might be able to do it.
He just finds some burn, too. I mean, Chess Dude's taking 2 next turn, and he's taking the 3 turn after. So Strifecrow's got to get in 14 damage to actually kill him. And given the Phantomize, I wasn't sure Chess Dude was going to Phantomize. When I look at it, this is just brilliant.
If he Ethereal Conjurers into a Pyroblast, he wins the game.
Kabbalist Tome, I think, is a...
Kabbalist Tome is more likely to get it.
Well, it's more likely to get other stuff he can use as well. And that's some of it. Ice Barrier's not really going to do too much. I mean, it's not enough.
No.
He's got 9 damage. He needs to find more. So he polymorphs this turn. Block gets popped. So say he polymorphs this turn on the Malagos. The Ice Block gets popped. He Flame Strike, sets Ice Barrier. I think that's a way to win.
Ethereal Conjurer is not the way to win. But he's going to try and find it. Frost Nova's picked up, but that's...
Frost Nova? No, that'll buy him another turn.
Oh yeah, Frost Nova plus Ice Barrier. And then maybe Frostbolt Fireball is enough?
He's taking 3. He'll take 2 this turn. He's taking 3 next turn. And then he's going to take 4. I think Strifecrow just won.
Oh, man. So he plays... Next turn, he plays the Frost Nova, sets the Ice Barrier, pings face.
He'd even just Frostbolt face.
So
I don't think he needs to, though. I mean...
Doesn't need to. Yeah, he wants him to attack, because then he gets 8 armor.
Yeah, I don't think Chess Dude can win. Strifecrow would have to make a big mistake to lose this game.
Yeah. How much fatigue
7,
damage
8,
does
9,
it take
10,
next
11,
turn? 3?
12. He's taking 3 next turn, so Yeah, I can't kill him this turn, but I think this is effective. This is effectively lethal.
Yeah, you can Frost Nova, Ice Barrier, set the Cold Sorcerer, Pink Face. He uses a spell to clear the Cold Sorcerer. He gets closer to fatigue anyway. Might as well put it out there. You don't even need it. I mean, Frostbolt, Fireball plus the fatigue damage next turn wins in the game. Striker found a way to do it. What the heck?
This is unbelievable. I cannot believe Strife Crow won this game.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I mean, if he's been counting the cards too, he knows exactly what Chess Dude has left.
Yeah. And Backstab's one of those cards that, I mean, those stick in your mind. He's thinking here, but, I mean, he's got the key. He did what he needed to do. Now it's just about...
What? He's got the Cult Sorcerer. He's got the Cult Sorcerer, so this is fine.
But why? That's not necessary.
I don't... Okay, he's got the Ice Barrier down. I was about to say, I was like, wait a minute, he just looted himself the game? Because I was looking at the sheep, and I was like, the sheep is not frozen!
That's not even necessary.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters at this point. Strife Crow has enough damage in hand to just push and kill him. And Chestu just has to literally hope that this is not Ice Barrier.
Yeah. Hope that there's no burn left.
Yep, Strife Crow's going to take it. Wow, unbelievable. So much. So Strife. The thing that's impressive to me is that Strife Crow had so many different ways to win. He's going for like the full choke-out version of this. I don't think Strife Crow counted. And now you can see after the Frostblade, he's like, wait a minute. Yeah, Chess Dude, you can see he's like, wow, really? Chess Dude thought he'd won. Yep, not today.
Oh, I did.
Wow, 2-0 lead for Strife Crow. Strife Crow's just kind of laughing. I'm like, wow, what happened? I think right after he flame striked, he realized that he had the damage to just push and kill him. But again, inconsequential. He had so many different ways to win, and that's sort of the most impressive part to me about that game is that he just had so many ways to win. He probably had. Yeah. Honestly, if you really wanted to break it down, he probably had 5 different ways he could have won that game.
Yeah.
All he needs to do is choose one.
Choose one, and he chose literally the hardest. But
in very Strife Crow fashion,
he got there, and that's what counts. That check mark on that mage is all that counts. And now Strife Crow's just got Zoo Warlock remaining and 3 opportunities to win with it. And